In this video, we're going to be doing the day trading recap for September 6th. So let's get straight into it. We'll go over to what we were posting in the Discord so you see everything we were looking at. So firstly, we're just looking at on this consolidation. Again, if we kind of hold, we're looking for a run up to this fib extension. If we go over to the NQs, you can kind of see that a bit more clearly. That was this range here. Again, if we can hold, expect runs. But again, didn't make the whole move there, but that was still a 51 point move. So again, you should definitely take in profits moving stops on the way at a minimum, because again, that was quite a wide target. We were looking for 124 points. So did 50 of those points, and that was the first thing we were looking at. So then at 9:16, we just said looking at the 459.98 as the over under level. So again, this is on Q, so we'll go over what this means. So on Qs, that is this level here. What over under means is essentially if you're over this level, you're bullish. If you're below this level, you're bearish. This is normally going to be the key level of the day, and again, should give you a good sense of direction if the market is going to be strong or weak. So we said about that. And it basically just describes what it meant here, just in case you haven't heard the term before. Again, if we hold above, that's our target. We didn't hold above, so we don't target that. Instead, we did go to the downside, so we target that, which is 455.90.29, which was this target here. So that was main target for the day entry, roughly on that retest in that area there, targeting all the way down there, which again, if we run over on the NQs, we have the same levels here, roughly retest in this area to target to that low, which is again a 200 points to short. And again, the stops on these can normally be quite easy if you're shorting roughly in this range. Again, you can have stops at high 50 points, that's a 1 to 4. Or what you can do, and is how I traded it, was we entered on this candle here. And how do we know this candle was most likely going to break us down? So if we zoom out, I will show you what we look for. So again, this is our over under level, so we know this is going to be a strong level. Again, this is the exact same level on the Qs, just we're looking on the futures, provided the exact same setup on the options, on the ETFs as well though, and we can cover that. So RSI, again, we use this to see momentum. What happens? We come back, we test the 50 line. If that holds, that is a nice entry short. What also happens, MACD crosses bearish here, indicating more downside. So again, both our momentum indicators show us we're going to go downside. Same thing on the futures. You had that, and you had the cross a bit earlier over on the futures, both signaling that we're going to go down as we're retesting our over under. So normally here's a nice short, because again, there's a lot of upside on the profits, and you don't have to risk a massive amount of cash on a trade like that. So that was quite the nice way to get into that. But again, you can always just hit kind of straight in at the levels and then just risk highs or lows. So we went through that. We also had a range. Again, we didn't kind of ignore these for today. We provided them, but we're not a massive fan of these on days where we have news. So again, we had the same thing on SPY. Again, we had ranges here. If we go over to QQs, again, we have the ranges. We don't really care too much for these when we've got data, just because they don't hold up as well. But again, we will note them if there is any ranges. Going lower, yeah, futures did look clean to the upside, so this part of the analysis did fail. But again, it's why we always pay attention and have stops. So if we pull that up, that's over on this chart. So we did have a 50 SMA here and our 161. So this is normally going to be a magnet level. You expect the price to push there. Now, you did get insights into this failing. So again, we're long at over under level. You have this push up, you're up lots of points. Again, you're up good money in that move. You're up 16, 17 points. Stop should be at a minimum break even. But what you can see is if you're over on the NQ futures or the NQs in general, this was going to fail, because look at what's happening over on the NQs. This broke down way before the S&P did, and by then that's when we started entering into our NQ shorts just as ES was failing. So again, you got to use these two together. If NQs is really breaking a strong kind of level and big shorts are kind of initiated, then you're probably going to see S&P follow suit. Again, if it's just kind of they're diverging from each other, but then at no key levels, that's not as important. But they're both important levels. Or if one's at an important level, you're going to see the other one probably get dragged along with it. So we hit that, and then yeah, basically we said buy 10 again. Basically, it was a 30-minute day in and out. By 30 minutes, we had the range completed that we wanted on Qs, which again, and the NQs, which again was, if we zoom in, that was that range to that range. That is what we wanted to see completed. And again, we got that by 10 o'clock on the dot. And again, same thing here, short to there, completed, 10 o'clock on the dot. So that was the main trade plan for the day. That's all we really kind of cared about. The only other thing we could be looking for, again, we're just kind of filling gaps now on these. Same with S&P, we're kind of just coming in to fill these daily gaps that have been left open for a while. So we could continue this down. I would only run profits if you're looking for any more trades. The way I would look to do this is you fib this range out that's provided the other way, starting where would entry be. So you got to bounce off that fib. Again, that provided a nice scalp. If we continue down, you then have bounce areas at 18,395, and then also down here, this would be a nice level because it's not only a 423 extension, it is also our second deviation from the 6 month. So even if we don't hit this today, this I would leave this fib on, just because again it would give us added conviction to that trade. If you want the levels on the Qs as well, just in case you don't trade futures at all, you don't look at the futures charts. Same thing on there, you had your quick bounce off the 161. Currently getting a bounce off that first deviation. Again, this is a solid line, so this is first deviation from a 1 year perspective. If it's a dashed one like here, that's a 6 month level. And again, that's very close. If we break lower, we have a gap to fill and our 261, so that could be a nice potential bounce or reversal level. And if we continue all the way down again, 440 would be where that level is. So we probably won't see that today. Near enough guaranteed we probably won't see those levels today, but again, these are definitely something we can look into to next week, especially considering we got the deviations lined up with it. And again, we also have the daily 100 SMA also at that level. So again, kind of 3 reasons to bounce: fib, second deviation, and 100 SMA. So when we push here, whether that's today or Monday, again, these should be a nice bounce level because these should all kind of stay roughly where they are in line. But again, that's the only thing. Again, if you're taking longs off these levels, definitely be risk managed on these, potentially even use these to check momentum. Are we trading at divergences? Are we starting to break above kind of the 50 would be ideal? Are we getting a MACD cross, which we're kind of getting now? Again, there's been a few fakes, but if you have the MACD cross, you can start pushing above the 50 on the RSI. Again, these could be nice. Again, can always get scalps off these levels, have quite tight stops below the levels. What you'll see is they are quite clean. Just to quickly run through it, is you'll tend to get moves like this. Very small move through it, but then you get a nice bounce. So again, in this case, went offside 11 cents to target 80 cents. If you know that's kind of the move, risk 20 cents on these moves, target 40-50 cents. If you're trying to scalp them, that will normally play out pretty nice on these fib extensions. Really nice bounce as well. We're just doing some live kind of live stuff. Again, this isn't in the Discord, but we're seeing this have a really nice pop off the first deviation. Again, that's the 1 year level. This potentially could be our support then for the day. We're going to be testing this, so watch how we react at this 50. This will be a resistance, so we might pull back on it initially, but if we can break above it, test it and hold, then that's where we can start running for the day. Oh, there we go. And that is where we can now start running for the day. So this is a really nice move. Again, first target would be VWAP and the bottom of that fib range, which is the 455.28. Again, sometimes you retest it and drop because we never got our retest here. We just sunk. So retest that at a minimum. You would expect that. But again, if we can hold that basically the nicest trade for the day is if we can hold that. Again, you can look for maybe a scalp short and see how that works. But if we can start breaking into this area, holding the bottom of this range, that will probably give you an indication that we can actually come to the top of this fib now and start trading that. But overall target on this again would kind of be the bottom of that fib. Again, on the futures, that's the 8719, 4528 on the ETF. What you'll see actually, just so we can quickly run through it now, is over on the S&P. We've just tested that now. So again, that is what you would look for your tests. We can quickly fib out these as well to see would that have provided a nice trade off here. Again, you got the scalp bounce on the level, and overall this did provide quite a nice bounce level in general. Again, we can do the same thing on this side, just to quickly just show you again how we use these fibs off these ranges. There you go. Again, scalp bounce, and then also you're now kind of getting that reversal. You're going to see Nasdaq struggle because you have the S&P pulling back. Like we say, these are nice scalp shorts. Literally said it before it happened. We still need to see that move on the Qs. So again, be a bit more patient. We'll probably push up to there. May even come back down to kind of that fair value gap and then do the run. But again, I would be targeting that. I do think we'll hit that by the end of the day. But again, only be risking profits for now. We've had the home run trades, profits only from now. And the last thing we will quickly run over. Again, we don't always post these in Discord now because we've told you time and time again how to use them. Moving average catch-ups. Expect us to come and test these before the close. We do have these ones up here from, was it yesterday or the day before? 2 days ago. Well, a few days ago now. These are from the 30th of August. Again, we still not touched any of these anchor rewraps. We're still waiting for first touches on these. We got quite close today, but again, we quite shied them. Probably still won't hit them today unless we kind of get a really nice push. But again, these will be targets on when we have our up day. But kind of ignore those for the day. It'll be more these ones, the red ones that need catch up. And again, do these level have any relation to, or are they likely to hit right now? The way you can kind of tell is, okay, we're looking at the Qs. 45602 is the level on the Qs. Now, does that line up with anything? 45602. 45602. So that would be roughly here. Again, that would kind of just require us to kind of come into the range we would expect. So again, that anchor rewrap can continue to come down. And again, it might line up by the time we come into it roughly with this 45528, which again was a level we would kind of expect to hit today. But again, SPY has already hit and ES has already hit its thing. You've got your nice scalp short. Might even come and retest this. Again, if we start to break lows, then maybe, or use the RSI. If RSI starts to bounce off the level, we're testing as well the zero line on the MACD. If RSI can hold that, then it could be a nice trade.